Hello everyone, my name is Paleo. I'm a T-Rex VTuber. For anyone who doesn't know me, it's good to see you all here. Hope you're all doing well, and welcome to my Dino Fact on Koleken. Koleken is an abelisaur from late Cretaceous, South America. It was a fairly small member of his family, most likely, as his holotype was only around 5 meters long. But it was also a 6-year-old subadult, so potentially it could have gone a little larger than this. When they discovered it in 2024, they decided to give it a name that means coming from clay and water, which refers to how it was found in claystone, and how the area it lived in was an estuary, an area that has brackish water being a mix of fresh and salts. But the La Colonia Formation is important for this video more than just the fact that Koleken had oceanfront property. There's a certain other, very large, two-horned reason why the La Colonia Formation is very noteworthy. Koleken was in fact neighbors with the one and only meat-eating bull, Carnotaurus, who over the past couple decades has made his way into becoming one of the most popular theropods in paleomedia, and is by far the most popular of all the abelisaurids, which is great, but also at the same time is really not saying much, as they are a very underrated family. If you had to ask the average person, Carnotaurus is probably the only abelisaurid anyone would be able to name, but among paleo nerds, Majungasaurus is definitely at least second place, as has earned itself quite a few noteworthy paleo media appearances, mainly thanks to its notoriety of being one of the only theropods where we have direct evidence of them being cannibals, due to how tooth marks that were found on Majungasaurus bones resembled their own tooth marks that were found on the bones of some of the sauropods that they ate. This on its own is not enough for Majungasaurus to be as popular as Carno, and it still has 0 movie appearances that I know of. Although for most abelisaurids and mid-sized theropods in general, this is still pretty good, honestly. Which brings us over to my personal third place when it comes to abelisaurids, Rugops, who has also earned itself quite a few documentary appearances, like in Planet Dinosaur and a certain other thing that I don't want to mention, but this has come with a very important caveat where, similar to Carcharodontosaurus, most of its appearances in paleomedia can mainly just be attributed to the fact they had a pretty popular neighbor that I might have done a dino fact on fairly recently. I will say this though, even though it would be nice for every dinosaur to be able to stand on its own, it is important to recognize that for most extinct animals, they're only known from very incomplete remains, some of which are extremely fragmentary. So it's hard for most animals to find any bit of fanfare after like the first few days after its description, so having a famous neighbor is important to help spread awareness about other fauna that they coexisted with. And along the way, these underrated fauna can help improve knowledge about both their own ecosystem and also expand greater knowledge on their own families as well. And this is where Koleken starts to shine once more, as it shows how similar to some modern day ecosystems like black bears and brown bears coexisting in certain parts of North America, and also how both of them can, a little further up north, can rarely interact with polar bears. A lot of big cats interact in some areas, like lions and leopards in Africa, and there's a whole bunch of places worldwide where multiple different canids coexist with each other. Koleken showcases how it and Carnotaurus, 2 different abelisaurids, can also coexist in the same ecosystem without outcompeting one another, even with their immense size difference, with Carnotaurus being one of the largest abelisaurids known, while Koleken, even fully grown, it probably was on the shorter side of abelisaurids. This was most likely possible thanks to niche partitioning, and the exact specifics of it overall are probably way too difficult to figure out right now, as there's still a lot unknown about the La Colonia Formation, but for at least one particular species, it'd be a little easier to try to figure out how it interacted with both these abelisaurids. Enter Titanomachia, who you probably noticed in some of Koleken's paleo art. It's one of the smallest titanosaurian sauropods and was discovered at right around the same time as Koleken. Both these abelisaurids would have likely been capable of killing adult Titanomachias on a good day at least, But given their larger size and the fact they would have needed to eat more to sustain that size, Carnotaurus was likely more often going after adults and probably large teenagers, whereas Koleken's smaller size probably meant it could have more safely gotten by through eating smaller individuals while possibly going after larger individuals when necessary. This next part is more so my own speculation due to how no one has really talked about this online from what I can see, but due to how the La Colonia Formation was an estuary, I like to think that Koleken and probably Carnotaurus as well could have both made use of their nearby shorelines to find more food to eat. I'd at least imagine that occasionally they might search around the beaches to find semi-aquatic prey to eat, like some of the fairly large turtles that they coexisted with, like Patagoniamus. Probably mispronounced that horrifically wrong. They might have also gone after the eggs of certain marine reptiles, or if they were lucky, maybe they could have found some large beached prey that they could have scavenged off of. One thing I can say of absolute certainty though is that the discovery of Koleken has helped make the La Colonia Formation even more interesting than it was before, and I hope that a lot more about Koleken, Carnotaurus, and their contemporaries can be found in the years to come. Thank you very much for watching.